My son just told 50,000 people I'm an embarrassment. I'm Tommy Davis and I built a $12 million empire with these hands. But here's what Brandon didn't know when he live-streamed me serving drinks at his pool party in Hawaii. He didn't know about the documents in Rachel's briefcase. He didn't know why the resort staff kept calling me Sir. And he definitely didn't know that his influencer lifestyle was about to collapse in real time. See, I just smiled and kept serving. Sometimes the best revenge is simply telling the truth. My boy wanted to go viral that day. Mission accomplished, just not the way he expected. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear if you've ever had family take your hard work for granted. This story starts 3 months ago, when I made the biggest financial mistake of my life. March 15th, 2024. I'm scrolling through TikTok during my coffee break when I see it. My own son's face fills the screen. Day in the life of having an embarrassing plumber dad, the caption reads. Brandon's standing in front of his BMW, the one I lease for $2,800 a month. He's wearing a $300 hoodie I bought him last Christmas. My dad literally unclogs toilets for a living, he tells the camera. Thank God I'll never have to work with my hands like that. The video has 43,000 views, 2,000 comments, most of them laughing along. I set my phone down and stared at my office wall. 34 years I've been building Davis Brothers Plumbing and Construction. Started with a $500 loan and a beat-up Ford pickup. Now I'm looking at revenue reports showing $12.3 million in gross income last year, $3.1 million net profit. But to my son, I'm just the guy who unclogs toilets. That hurt. But what happened 2 weeks later nearly broke me. I'm picking up Brandon from his apartment, the $2,000 a month place I pay for in downtown Austin. He's on the phone with one of his influencer friends. Dude, my dad's taking me to Hawaii for my birthday, he says, dropping like 30 grand on this resort. I feel a little proud. Maybe he appreciates the gesture. Then he keeps talking. Yeah, he's totally trying to buy my love or whatever. It's so cringe. But hey, free vacation, right? I'm definitely not letting him ruin my content with his whole blue-collar vibe. His friend laughs. Just make sure he stays out of your shots. Oh, trust me, I'll make it clear he's just there to pay. My followers don't need to see that. I turned up the radio, pretended I didn't hear it, but I heard every word. That night I pulled out my calculator. The Hawaii trip, $30,000 for 7 days at the Grand Wailea. His monthly allowance, $8,000. His car lease, $2,800. Insurance, $400. Phone bill, $150 for unlimited everything. Add it up and I'm spending over $130,000 a year on a kid who's ashamed of how I earn that money. A kid who makes $3,200 a month from sponsorships but spends $8,000 of my money every month to maintain his lifestyle. The math didn't add up. More importantly, the respect didn't add up. I've employed 63 people over the years, good jobs with benefits, health insurance for their families. I've unclogged more than toilets. I've built careers, supported communities, paid millions in taxes. But my son sees a man beneath him. The night before we left for Hawaii, I found another TikTok. This one had 120,000 views. Brandon's showing off his packed suitcase, designer clothes, expensive cologne, 5 pairs of sneakers worth more than most people's rent. Going to Hawaii with the fam, he says. Well, mostly just me and my dad's credit card. He's coming too, but I'll try to keep him out of frame. You guys know how it is. Parents can be so embarrassing. The comments flooded in. Your dad seems sweet, though, one person wrote. Brandon's response made my stomach turn. He tries, I guess. But honestly, I'm just grateful I won't end up like him. That's when I knew this vacation would be different. I booked my own separate meeting with the resort management, made some calls to old business partners, pulled together some documents Brandon had never seen. If my son wanted to treat me like hired help, maybe it was time to show him who actually owns the help. The flight to Maui gave me 5 hours to think about what I was risking. If I stayed quiet and let Brandon continue his show, I'd lose more than just respect. I'd lose myself. See, I wasn't always successful. Grew up in a trailer park outside Corpus Christi. Mom cleaned houses, Dad worked construction when he could stay sober. We shopped at thrift stores and counted every dollar. But I learned something important from watching my parents struggle. Hard work has dignity. Building something with your hands, solving problems, making people's lives better, that matters. When I started Davis Brothers Plumbing at 18, I made myself 3 promises. First, I'd never be ashamed of honest work. Second, I'd treat every employee like family. Third, I'd build something that would last. 34 years later, I've kept all 3 promises. We've installed plumbing in over 12,000 homes, fixed emergency leaks at 3 in the morning, renovated entire commercial buildings. Our work is all over Texas, hospitals, schools, apartment complexes where working families live. I've given scholarships to kids who wanted to learn trades, hired ex-convicts when nobody else would, paid for my workers' tools when they couldn't afford them. But if I let Brandon keep treating me like an embarrassment, what message does that send? To my employees who bust their backs every day, to the young apprentices learning the trade, to every parent who works hard to provide for ungrateful kids. Worse, what does it teach Brandon? Right now he thinks money just appears, that someone else will always pay his bills, that looking good on social media matters more than actually building something. At 24, he's never held a real job, never felt the satisfaction of solving a complex problem, never understood that every dollar in his bank account came from work he considers beneath him. I'm not raising a man, I'm enabling a child. The financial math was brutal too. At the rate he's spending, Brandon will burn through any inheritance in 5 years, maybe less. His influencer career is smoke and mirrors. I've seen his real contracts, $3,200 a month from sponsorships, and that's only guaranteed for 6 more months. The supplement company that pays him wants authentic lifestyle content, not some trust fund baby. If they knew his lifestyle costs over $10,000 a month, and Daddy covers most of it, those deals would vanish overnight. But it's not just about money. 2 weeks before the trip, my business partner Frank Williams called with disturbing news. "Tommy, my nephew Jake just graduated high school," he said. "Kid's smart, good with his hands. I offered him an apprenticeship." "That's great, Frank." He turned me down. Said his friends would make fun of him for working a dirty job like his uncle. Wants to be an influencer instead. My heart sank. "Frank, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. But Tommy, when kids like your son broadcast that blue-collar work is embarrassing, it spreads. These kids see the lifestyle, not the work behind it." Frank was right. Brandon's content wasn't just disrespecting me. It was poisoning an entire generation against honest work. Who's going to fix the pipes when these influencers' toilets clog? Who's going to build their dream homes? Who's going to maintain the infrastructure that keeps their Wi-Fi running? If we shame the trades, we shame the backbone of America. That's what I was really fighting for in Hawaii. Not just my relationship with my son, but the dignity of every person who builds, fixes, and maintains the world these social media stars take for granted. The plane descended toward Maui, and I felt the weight of 34 years of work pressing down on me. I could stay quiet, keep writing checks, pretend Brandon's content didn't hurt, or I could finally set boundaries. Not with anger, not with threats, but with truth. The most powerful weapon I had wasn't my temper or my money. It was the simple fact of what I'd actually built while Brandon was building his follower count. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through Brandon's latest posts. 47,000 followers hanging on his every word about luxury and lifestyle. They had no idea they were about to witness the most expensive education in respect my son would ever receive. The captain announced our descent into Kahului Airport. Brandon was already filming himself in first class, seats I'd paid for, naturally. "What's up, guys? About to touch down in paradise," he told his phone. "Can't wait to show you this insane resort my dad booked. It's going to be epic content." I smiled and looked out the window at Maui's coastline. Epic content. He had no idea how right he was. We checked into the Grand Wailea at 2:30 p.m. The suite cost $4,500 a night for 7 nights. Oceanfront views, private balcony, marble, everything. Brandon immediately started filming. "Guys, this place is absolutely insane," he told his camera, panning across the living room. 2 bedrooms, full kitchen, and look at this view. He pointed the phone toward the ocean, carefully keeping me out of frame as I unpacked. My dad actually did good with this one. I mean, it's costing him a fortune, but whatever. Dad's job, right? That casual dismissal hit me like a wrench to the gut. Dad's job. Like I was his personal ATM. "Brandon," I said calmly, "can we talk for a minute? Can it wait? I'm in the middle of content creation here. Son, I'd like to talk, please." He sighed dramatically for his audience. "Parents, am I right? Always interrupting the grind." He turned off the camera. "What's up?" I gestured toward the balcony. "Let's step outside." The Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly before us. Waves crashed against the resort's private beach 3 floors below. Paradise. Bought and paid for. "Brandon, I need you to understand something," I started. "This vacation cost me $30,000. I know, Dad, and I appreciate it, okay? This content is going to get millions of views. It's basically a business expense. A business expense. Yeah, my brand is luxury lifestyle. You're helping me build my platform. I stared at my son. 24 years old, 6'2", wearing a $200 vacation shirt. Handsome kid. Smart too when he wanted to be. But somewhere along the way, I'd failed to teach him the most basic lesson. Respect. Brandon, how much money do you think you make? From sponsorships, I'm pulling in solid 5 figures a month. How much exactly? He shifted uncomfortably. It varies. Brand deals, affiliate marketing, that supplement thing. It's all good. I've seen your contracts, son. $3,200 a month, and that expires in November. His face flushed. Dad, you went through my private business stuff? You live in an apartment I pay for. Your contracts were on the kitchen counter when I picked you up last week. That's an invasion of privacy. Brandon, I give you $8,000 every month. Your lifestyle costs more than $10,000. You're spending my money faster than you're earning your own. So, that's what dads do. They support their kids. The casual entitlement in his voice made me pause. When had I taught him that? Do you know how I earned the money for this trip? Dad, you own a plumbing company. I get it. No, I don't think you do. Last month, I personally crawled under Mrs. Peterson's house to fix a burst pipe. 78 years old, living on Social Security, couldn't afford a big repair bill. Okay, that's nice of you, but I spent 4 hours in mud and spiderwebs to save that woman $500. My back hurt for 3 days. Brandon looked bored. Dad, you don't have to do the manual labor anymore. You're the owner. I do it because that's who I am. That's who raised you. Look, I respect that you work hard, but I'm building something too. My platform has real value. What value? Influence, engagement, brand partnerships. Brandon, last week you posted a video about a protein powder you've never used. You told 40,000 people it changed your life. That's marketing, Dad. That's lying. Everyone does it. It's just content. I gripped the balcony railing. Below us, hotel staff cleaned the pool area. Real people doing real work. Son, do you know what my first job was? Dad, please don't do the whole back in my day thing. Bagging groceries at Safeway, $7 an hour. I was 17, needed money for community college. That's great, but one day this businessman came through my line. Expensive suit, talking loud on his phone about some big deal. Treated me like I was invisible. Brandon was checking his phone, not listening. His credit card got declined 3 times. He started yelling at me like it was my fault. Called me stupid. Dad, why are you telling me this? Because you remind me of him. Brandon's head snapped up. Excuse me? You treat people like they're beneath you. You're embarrassed by honest work. You think serving others is degrading. I never said that. Brandon, 3 weeks ago, you posted a TikTok calling me embarrassing. That was just content. Relatable humor. 43,000 people watched you mock your father. Dad, it's not personal. My audience eats up that family dynamic stuff. You made 28 cents from that video. I calculated it. So, I've spent $130,000 on you this year. You made 28 cents mocking the man who earned that money. Brandon was quiet for a moment. I thought maybe I'd reached him. Then he said, Dad, you're being dramatic. This is just how social media works. No, son. This is how disrespect works. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just being authentic about our differences. Our differences? Yeah, you're blue collar. I'm building a digital empire. We're just different generations. I stared at him. My son genuinely believed that. Brandon, do you know what this resort cost to build? I don't know. A lot? $240 million. You know who built it? Rich people. Plumbers, electricians, carpenters, contractors, people like me. Okay, but without blue-collar workers, this place doesn't exist. Your iPhone doesn't work. Your car doesn't run. Your apartment doesn't have water. Dad, I'm not saying those jobs aren't important. You called me embarrassing. Brandon looked away. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? Silence. Waves crashed below us. Finally, he spoke. Dad, you're cramping my content vibe. Can we not do this whole lecture thing on vacation? And there it was. The thing that broke my heart and made my decision final. Not anger. Not malice. Just complete indifference to my feelings. Sure, son, I said quietly. Let's enjoy the vacation. I walked back inside, leaving him on the balcony with his phone. Time to make some calls. That evening, something strange started happening. We were walking through the resort lobby when the concierge looked up from his desk. "Good evening, Mr. Davis," he said with a bright smile. "I hope you're enjoying your stay." "Thank you," I replied. Brandon glanced at me curiously. "How does he know your name?" "Probably checked us in earlier," I said. But at dinner, it happened again. The server, Maria, approached our table with unusual attention. "Mr. Davis, it's such a pleasure to have you with us tonight. Chef Martinez prepared something special when he heard you were dining with us." She set down an appetizer we hadn't ordered, seared ahi tuna with some kind of citrus sauce. "Compliments of the house," she said, beaming. Brandon raised an eyebrow. "Dad, did you stay here before or something?" "No, son. First time." The appetizer was incredible. Restaurant quality that probably cost $40 a plate. "This is weird," Brandon said, filming the food. "My dad's getting VIP treatment and we just checked in this afternoon." At the pool bar later, the bartender, a guy named Kevin, mixed me a perfect old-fashioned without me ordering it. "Your usual, Mr. Davis, on the house tonight." Brandon stared at me. "Dad, what's going on? How do they know your drink?" "Lucky guess," I shrugged, but I could see his influencer brain working. Brandon built his brand on luxury experiences and insider access. Now his plumber dad was getting treatment he'd never seen. The next morning at breakfast, the general manager herself stopped by our table. "Mr. Davis," she said warmly, "I'm Rachel Martinez. We spoke briefly yesterday." My pulse quickened. Rachel and I had indeed spoken. A very important conversation Brandon knew nothing about. "Miss Martinez, good to see you again. I wanted to make sure everything meets your expectations. We've arranged that special tour of the property you requested." Brandon looked confused. "Tour?" "Your father expressed interest in our facilities and operations," Rachel explained smoothly. "We're always happy to show valued guests behind the scenes." "That sounds boring," Brandon said. "Dad, you don't need to inspect their plumbing." Rachel's smile tightened slightly. "Oh, it's not about maintenance, Mr. Davis. It's more of an executive overview." After she left, Brandon turned to me. "Executive overview? Dad, what did you tell them you do for work?" "I told them the truth, son. I'm in construction and facilities management. But you're a plumber." "I'm a businessman who started in plumbing." "Same thing." I sipped my coffee. "Is it?" That afternoon, while Brandon live-streamed by the pool, I took Rachel's tour. She led me through areas most guests never see: the loading docks, staff quarters, mechanical rooms. "These systems are impressive," I told her, examining the main water distribution panel. "Industrial-grade components, this kind of infrastructure investment, significant capital commitment. You have experience with large-scale projects?" "Some," I said modestly. We walked through the business offices. Rachel showed me quarterly reports, occupancy rates, maintenance budgets. "The property requires $12 million annually in operational costs," she explained. "But the revenue streams are diverse: room bookings, restaurants, spa services, event hosting. What about ownership structure?" "That's complex. Multiple investors. Some silent partners." I nodded thoughtfully. "Smart approach. Spreads risk." When I returned to the pool, Brandon was finishing a live stream. "So yeah, guys, my dad's getting some weird VIP treatment here. The staff act like he's important or something. It's honestly kind of cringe, but whatever. Old people love feeling special." His chat was buzzing with comments. Several people asking who his dad was. "Nobody special," Brandon told them. "Just a plumber with delusions of grandeur." I sat down next to him quietly. "How was your tour?" he asked, not looking up from his phone. "Educational." "Learn anything interesting?" I smiled. "You could say that." That evening, Rachel approached our dinner table again. This time she carried a leather briefcase. "Mr. Davis, those documents you requested, I have them ready for your review." "Documents?" Brandon asked. "Business materials," I said casually. "Nothing exciting?" But I saw Brandon's eyes narrow. His influencer instincts were picking up something. "Thanks, Rachel. I'll look them over tonight." "Of course. And Mr. Davis? Congratulations on the Q2 numbers. Quite impressive." After she left, Brandon stared at me. Dad, what the hell is going on?" "Nothing, son. Eat your fish." But I could see the wheels turning in his head. Tomorrow was his big pool party. 50,000 followers watching live. Perfect timing. The next day, Brandon spent 3 hours setting up for his pool party livestream. He'd invited 8 other influencers he'd met at the resort. Kids with millions of followers between them, all chasing the same dream of branded content and sponsorship deals. "This is going to be epic," he told me while adjusting his ring light. "I'm expecting 50,000 live viewers minimum." The party started at 3 p.m.
Brandon had hired a photographer for $3,500 to capture behind-the-scenes content. Professional catering ran another $12,000, all charged to my credit card, naturally. I watched from a distance as the young influencers gathered around the infinity pool. Designer swimwear, perfect bodies, phones constantly recording.
"What's up, beautiful humans?" Brandon shouted into his camera. "Welcome to the most insane pool party of 2024. The viewer count climbed rapidly. 35,000, 40,000, 45,000 people watching my son's performance. "We're literally living in paradise right now," he continued, sweeping the camera across the ocean view. "This resort is absolutely unreal. Shout out to my dad for making this happen." Scattered applause from his friends. I felt a brief moment of hope. Then Brandon kept talking. "Speaking of my dad, you guys have been asking about him in the comments. Yes, he's here. No, he's not usually this extra with the VIP treatment." The camera found me sitting at a nearby table reading quarterly reports Rachel had given me. "There he is, guys. Say hi, Dad." I waved politely. The chat exploded with fire emojis and heart symbols. "My dad's a plumber," Brandon announced to 50,000 viewers. "Blue-collar king, right, Dad?" More applause. This felt okay. Maybe he was actually showing respect. I was wrong. "But honestly, guys, it's kind of weird being here with him," Brandon continued. "Like, this place is super high-end, and my dad keeps acting like he belongs in these business meetings and stuff." His influencer friends laughed. One of them, a girl named Skylar with 2 million TikTok followers, grabbed the camera. "Wait, your dad thinks he's a businessman?" She giggled. "Right? Like, Dad, you fix toilets. This isn't a construction site." The laughter got louder. I felt my chest tighten. "Don't get me wrong," Brandon said, taking back the camera. "I love my dad. He works super hard. But sometimes he gets these delusions about being important." 48,000 people were watching this. Like yesterday, he took some executive tour of the resort. Executive tour for a plumber. The group was cracking up now. Brandon was feeding off their energy. And get this, the staff keeps treating him like he's some kind of VIP. It's honestly embarrassing. Like, "Dad, they're just being polite because you're spending money." My hands were shaking. Not with anger, with something deeper. "Brandon," I called out calmly, "could you come here for a moment?" "Hold on, guys," he told the camera. "Dad's having one of his moments." He walked over, still live streaming. "What's up, Pops? You're kind of killing the vibe here. Could you please not discuss our family business on your stream? Dad, it's not that serious. My followers love family content. This isn't content. This is humiliation. You're being dramatic. I'm literally promoting your work ethic." "You just called me delusional." "Dad, I was joking. Everyone knows I'm kidding around. 50,000 people don't know that." Brandon rolled his eyes at his camera. "See what I mean, guys? Parents take everything so seriously." The chat was moving too fast to read, but I caught glimpses. "Your dad seems sweet. Why are you being mean? This is uncomfortable." But Brandon was locked into performer mode. Anyway, where were we? "Oh yeah, so my dad thinks he's like this business mogul or whatever. It's actually kind of cute." That word. Cute. Like I was a child playing dress-up. "He keeps talking to the resort managers about operations and revenue streams. Dad, you unclog pipes. Stay in your lane." The influencer friends were eating this up. Content gold. Rich kid mocking his blue-collar father. "But honestly, guys, I'm grateful," Brandon continued. "My dad works his ass off, so I don't have to. Like, I'll never have to get my hands dirty like he does. Thank God for that, right?" The laughter was getting meaner now. "Could you imagine me with a wrench, crawling under houses? No thank you. I'm built for better things." 49,000 viewers, his highest count ever. My dad's great at what he does, but what he does is... Well, let's just say there's a reason I chose a different path. I stood up slowly. The quarterly reports fell from my lap. "Brandon." "What now, Dad? You're literally interrupting my biggest stream ever. I need you to stop." "Stop what? Having fun? Living my life? Stop disrespecting me." "Dad, you're being way too sensitive. This is just content. This is cruelty." The pool party had gone quiet. 8 influencers and their phones all pointed at us. "Look, Dad, I know you're proud of your work, and you should be. Blue-collar jobs are super important." He was trying to recover. Too late. "But let's be real. You're here because I invited you. You're getting VIP treatment because you're with me. The staff is being nice because they want good reviews. 50,000 people watching. Dad, you're just the money guy, okay? That's your role. You pay, I create. That's how this works. The money guy. 34 years of building a business. 34 years of earning respect. 34 years of raising this child. Reduced to the money guy. You think that's all I am? Dad, don't make this weird. You're great at what you do. Stick to that. I looked around the pool. 8 young people with millions of followers, all of them staring at me like I was some quaint relic from a different era. Behind them, 50,000 viewers watching the rich kid's dad get put in his place. Brandon, do you know what I do for a living? Yeah, Dad, you're a plumber. What else? You own a plumbing company. What else? He looked confused. I don't know. You fix pipes and stuff. 50,000 people heard my son admit he had no idea what his father actually did. Time to educate them all. Everyone stay right there, I said calmly. Don't move. Dad, where are you going? To get something. I walked toward the lobby, my heart pounding. Behind me, I heard Brandon talking to his camera.
Sorry guys, my dad's having some kind of breakdown. Occupational hazard of manual labor, I guess. We'll be right back. The laughter followed me all the way to the elevator. In my room, I opened the safe and pulled out the leather portfolio Rachel had given me. Time for the biggest reveal of my life. I returned to the pool with Rachel Martinez walking beside me. She carried the leather briefcase and wore her most professional expression. Sorry to interrupt, I announced to the group. Brandon was still live streaming, viewer count holding steady at 49,000. Dad, what's going on? Who's this? Brandon, everyone, this is Rachel Martinez. She's the general manager of the Grand Wailea Resort. Rachel smiled politely at the camera. Good afternoon. Rachel has some information she'd like to share with you all. Brandon looked confused. Information about what? About who actually owns this resort.
The influencers exchanged glances. This wasn't typical content for them. Dad, why would we care about ownership? We're just guests here. Are we? I asked. Rachel opened her briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. Mr. Davis, would you like me to explain, or would you prefer to handle this yourself? Please, go ahead. Brandon's chat was exploding. Viewers could sense something big happening. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel began, I'd like to clarify something about Mr. Tommy Davis and his relationship to this property. She opened the folder and held up an official document. Mr. Davis is not just a guest at the Grand Wailea Resort. He is, in fact, our majority owner. Silence. Complete silence. Brandon's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Through Davis Holdings, LLC, Mr. Davis owns 85% of this resort. The property is valued at approximately $240 million. The influencer friend stared at me like I'd just materialized from another dimension. Furthermore, Rachel continued, Mr. Davis's construction and facilities management company was instrumental in the resort's renovation 3 years ago. His expertise in large-scale plumbing and infrastructure made this level of luxury possible. She held up another document. Davis Brothers Plumbing and Construction maintains exclusive contracts for all resort facilities across our Hawaii properties. Brandon was speechless. The camera shook in his hands. I'm sorry, said Skylar, the TikTok star. Did you just say he owns this place? Majority ownership, yes. Mr. Davis is also a partner in 11 other luxury properties across Hawaii and Texas. Rachel pulled out a tablet and showed it to the camera. These are our quarterly revenue reports. The Grand Wailea generates approximately $63 million annually. Mr. Davis receives 85% of net profits. 50,000 viewers were watching my son discover his father was worth $200 million. But he's a plumber, Brandon whispered. Mr. Davis started as a plumber, Rachel corrected gently. He's now CEO of a $12 million per year construction empire. His company has built or renovated over 300 commercial properties. She turned to another page. Mr. Davis also sits on the board of directors for Pacific Luxury Resorts, which owns properties in California, Oregon, and Washington. My phone buzzed. I answered it on speaker. Tommy, it's Frank Williams. You wanted me to call at 3:30? Yes, Frank. I'm here with some friends. Could you explain what we discussed yesterday? Sure thing. I've got the finalized contracts for the Seattle project. 18-month timeline, $47 million budget, biggest project we've ever tackled. Brandon's face was white. Frank, could you tell everyone what Davis Brothers Construction does? Tommy, you're being modest. You built the infrastructure for half of Austin. Davis Brothers handles everything from municipal water systems to luxury resort plumbing. You've got 63 full-time employees and subcontracts with major developers across 3 states. Thanks, Frank. No problem. Oh, and congratulations on the Hawaii expansion. Rachel tells me the Kona property purchase went through. Another 60 million well spent. I hung up. The pool party had transformed into something else entirely. 50,000 viewers watching the most expensive education in respect ever delivered. I have other documents, Rachel said, but perhaps this is sufficient? She handed me a bound report. Your third quarter earnings summary, Mr. Davis, as requested. I held it up for Brandon's camera. Third quarter 2024. Davis Holdings total revenue, 18.7 million. Net profit, 4.1 million.
That's per quarter? Asked one of the influencer boys. Yes, we're on track for our best year ever. I looked directly at Brandon's camera, speaking to 50,000 viewers. My name is Tommy Davis. I started Davis Brothers Plumbing 34 years ago with a $500 loan. Today, my companies employ 237 people across 4 states. The viewer count was climbing. Word was spreading across social media. We've built the plumbing infrastructure for 3 major hospitals, 14 schools, and 47 apartment complexes. We've provided jobs, health insurance, and career opportunities for hundreds of families. Brandon's hands were shaking. The camera wobbled. Last year, Davis Brothers donated $850,000 to trade school scholarships. We believe in the dignity of skilled work. I paused, looking around the pool. We also believe in respect.
Rachel closed her briefcase.
Mr. Davis, will there be anything else? Actually, yes. Could you explain our staff compensation philosophy? Certainly. All Grand Wailea employees receive above-market wages, full health benefits, and profit-sharing bonuses. Mr. Davis insists that the people who maintain this resort share in its success. What about Maria, our server from last night? Maria Rodriguez, 7 years with us. She owns a home in Kihei thanks to our down payment assistance program. Her daughter just graduated from University of Hawaii. Tuition paid through our education fund. And Kevin, the bartender. Kevin Nakamura, former military. Mr. Davis personally hired him when other employers wouldn't look past his PTSD diagnosis. Kevin now manages our beverage operations. I turned back to the camera. Every person who works here has dignity. Every job matters.
The woman who cleans your rooms, the man who maintains the pools, the chef who prepares your food, they're not beneath anyone. The silence stretched on. 52,000 viewers now. Brandon, I said quietly, do you understand now? My son's face was red. Whether from embarrassment or anger, I couldn't tell. Dad, why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? That you owned, that I was successful? Yeah. Son, I tried to tell you many times. You never listened. But you said you were a plumber. I am a plumber. I'm also a businessman. I'm also a property owner. I'm also your father. One of the influencer friends, a boy named Tyler, spoke up. Dude, your dad is literally richer than all our parents combined. Brandon looked around the group. 8 young people who'd been laughing at his blue-collar father minutes ago. How much money do you have? Brandon whispered. Enough, I said simply. But how much? Rachel answered for me. Mr. Davis's net worth is approximately $215 million. The number hit the live stream like a bomb. Chat exploded. Viewer count spiked to 55,000. 200 million? Brandon's voice cracked. Success isn't about the money, son. It's about building something that lasts, something that helps people. I gestured around the resort. This place employs 437 people. They have mortgages, families, dreams. I'm proud to provide that stability. But Dad, you let me call you embarrassing. You let me mock your work. I let you reveal who you really are. That landed hard. Brandon's face crumpled. I wanted to see if you'd respect me without knowing about the money, I continued. The answer was no. Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. There's a difference. The live stream chat was moving too fast to read. Brandon's follower count was climbing rapidly as word spread, but for all the wrong reasons. Mr. Davis, Rachel said gently, should I arrange for your party to continue in the private cabana area? That won't be necessary. I think we're finished here. I looked around the group one final time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've learned something today. Success isn't about followers or likes or sponsored content. It's about creating value for other people. I picked up my quarterly reports. Brandon, we need to talk, privately. Dad, can I turn off the stream first? That's up to you. He looked at his phone. 57,000 viewers, the biggest audience of his life. watching his world collapse. Guys, I need to go talk to my dad. I'll catch you later. He ended the stream. In the sudden quiet, I could hear waves crashing against the shore 3 floors below. Dad, Brandon said quietly, I fucked up. Yes, you did. Brandon, we need to have a very serious conversation. The influencer friends had scattered, suddenly remembering urgent appointments elsewhere. Word travels fast in social media circles, especially when it involves $200 million. We sat in my suite's living room. The ocean view that cost $4,500 a night stretched endlessly beyond the windows. Dad, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Stop, I said firmly. Don't apologize for not knowing I was wealthy. Apologize for being disrespectful to someone you thought had less than you. Brandon's mouth opened, then closed. That's the real problem, son. You weren't embarrassed because I was poor. You were embarrassed because you thought I was beneath you. That's not true. You told 50,000 people I was delusional for taking business meetings. You called my work embarrassing. You said you were grateful you'd never have to work with your hands. I was just creating content. No, you were revealing your character. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. Brandon, do you see this account? He leaned forward. The screen showed a balance that made his eyes widen. $847,000. This is your trust fund. Money I've been saving for your future since you were born. Dad, I don't understand. Watch carefully. I opened the transfer screen and moved $847,000 from Brandon's trust fund to my business account. What are you doing? Teaching you about consequences. My phone buzzed with a confirmation. Transfer complete. Your trust fund now has a 0 balance. Brandon stared at the screen. Dad, you can't just... Watch me. I opened another app and called Chase Bank Customer Service. Yes, this is Tommy Davis. Account number ending in 4781. I need to cancel all cards associated with Brandon Davis, secondary account holder. Dad, no. Yes, effective immediately. He's no longer authorized to make purchases on this account. The customer service representative confirmed the cancellation. Brandon's credit cards would stop working within the hour. Finally, I said, pulling up his apartment lease on my phone, I'm calling your landlord. Dad, please don't. I dialed the number. Hi, Janet. This is Tommy Davis. I need to discuss Brandon's lease termination. Dad, you're being crazy. Janet, I'll be ending the automatic rent payments after this month. If Brandon wants to keep the apartment, he'll need to pay his own rent starting September 1st. Brandon's face went white. That's 12 days away. Yes, better start job hunting. I hung up and looked at my son. Here's what's going to happen. You're moving out of that apartment. You're getting a job, a real job with real responsibilities. Dad, this is insane. You can't just cut me off. I can, and I did. But I have sponsorship deals. I have obligations. Then you better fulfill them without my financial support. Brandon was panic breathing now. Dad, I make $3,200 a month. That won't even cover my car lease. Then get a cheaper car. You don't understand. My image, my brand, it all depends on looking successful. Maybe it's time to actually be successful, instead of just looking it. I stood up and walked to the window. Below us, hotel staff cleaned the pool where Brandon had humiliated me an hour ago. Son, do you know what my first apartment cost? I don't care about your first apartment. $450 a month. I shared it with 2 roommates. We had a mattress on the floor and a TV that got 3 channels. That was a different time. I was happy, Brandon. I was building something. I had purpose. Purpose? You were poor. I was free. Free from dependence on anyone else. Free to make my own choices. I turned back to face him. You're 24 years old and you've never experienced that freedom. You've never had to solve a real problem or overcome actual adversity. This is adversity. No, this is accountability. My phone rang. I answered it on speaker. Tommy? Frank Williams again. I just saw Brandon's live stream on Instagram. Holy shit, brother. Frank, you're on speaker. Oh, hi, Brandon. Tough day, huh? Brandon said nothing. Tommy, the internet's going crazy. That video's been viewed 2 million times already. Your boy's trending on Twitter. I looked at Brandon. Congratulations, you finally went viral. Dad, people are making memes about me. They're calling me Trust Fund Tyler and Silver Spoon Brandon. Actions have consequences. But my reputation will recover if you earn it back. Frank's voice crackled through the speaker. Tommy, you want my advice? Put the kid to work. We've got entry-level positions open. Brandon's head snapped up.
I'm not working construction. Why not? I asked. Because I'm not, I don't.
That's not who I am? Then who are you? Silence. Brandon, tomorrow morning you're flying back to Austin. You have 2 weeks to find a job and a place to live. Dad, please. The trust fund will remain empty until you've worked for 1 full year. No exceptions. What if I can't make it? Then you'll learn what real failure feels like. And maybe that will teach you to respect people who work hard to avoid it. I stood up. This conversation is over. The fallout was swift and brutal. Within 6 hours of Brandon ending his live stream, the video had spread across every major social media platform, 2.7 million views on TikTok, 800,000 on Instagram, clips circulating on Twitter with hashtags like #TrustFundReality and #PlumberDad. But the narrative wasn't what Brandon expected. Most comments supported me. This dad is a legend. Kid needed this reality check. $200 million and stays humble. That's real class.
Rich kid mocking his blue-collar father gets destroyed by facts. Plot twist of the century. Dad owns the whole resort. Brandon's subscriber count told the real story. In 24 hours, he dropped from 47,000 followers to 31,000, then 26,000, then 18,000. His management company called Tuesday morning. "Brandon, we need to talk," said his agent Jessica. "PureFlex Supplements is terminating your contract." "What? Why?" "They can't have a spokesperson who publicly mocks working people. Their customer base is largely blue-collar." "But that was taken out of context. Brandon, you called your father delusional for attending business meetings. Then it turned out he owns a $200 million empire. There's no good context for that." 3 more sponsors dropped him by Thursday. His monthly income fell from $3,200 to $400. Meanwhile, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Forbes wanted an interview about stealth wealth. The Wall Street Journal called about blue-collar billionaires. Local Austin news asked about my scholarship programs. I declined them all. This wasn't about publicity. Frank Williams stopped by my office Friday afternoon. "Tommy, that video's done something interesting. We've had 47 job applications this week." 47? Young people wanting to learn trades. Kids who saw that live stream and realized skilled work isn't shameful. He handed me a stack of resumes. This one's from a 22-year-old with a computer science degree. Says he wants to build something real instead of just coding apps. This one's from a girl who dropped out of influencer marketing. Says your video inspired her to pursue electrical work. Frank, that's incredible. It gets better. 3 different high schools have called asking if you'll speak at Career Day. They want someone to explain how the trades lead to real success. I flipped through the applications. Smart kids, good backgrounds, all of them citing Brandon's live stream as their wake-up call. "You know what this means?" Frank asked. "What?" "Your son accidentally became the best recruiting tool we've ever had." Meanwhile, Brandon was learning about real life. His landlord, Janet, called me Wednesday. "Tommy, Brandon came by with cash for September rent, $750. How much is his rent?" $1,800. Where did he get $750? He sold his PlayStation and some sneakers. By the end of the week, Brandon had sold his designer clothes, gaming setup, and expensive cologne. He applied for jobs at coffee shops, restaurants, and retail stores. Nobody wanted to hire the kid who'd gone viral for mocking working people. Saturday morning, my doorbell rang. Brandon stood on my porch holding a newspaper. "Dad, I need to show you something." The Austin Chronicle had run a full-page article, Local Plumber's Son Learns Hard Lesson About Respect. They interviewed 12 local business owners. Brandon said quietly. "None of them will hire me." "Why not?" "Because I'm the guy who called honest work embarrassing. And, Dad, I can't find a job anywhere. My reputation is ruined." I looked at my son. He'd lost 15 pounds, dark circles under his eyes, wearing a plain t-shirt I'd never seen before. "Where are you living?" "Motel 6 on Highway 35, $49 a night." "That's expensive." "It's all I can afford." We stood in silence for a moment. "Brandon, do you understand why this happened?" "Because I was disrespectful." "What else?" "Because I took everything for granted." "What else?" "Because I thought I was better than other people." I nodded. "And because I never learned the value of real work. Are you ready to learn now?" "Yes." "Are you ready to start at the bottom and earn your way up?" "Yes." "Are you ready to apologize not just to me, but to every working person you insulted?" "Yes."
I opened my front door wider. Then come inside. Let's talk about giving you a real job. Dad, thank you. I promise I'll... No promises, son. Just work. Show me who you really are through your actions. What kind of job? Entry level, minimum wage, you'll carry tools, clean job sites, and learn basic plumbing. And if I work hard, then maybe, in a few years, you'll understand what I tried to teach you. Brandon nodded. When do I start? Monday morning, 6 a.m. sharp. I'll be there. We'll see. 6 months later, I got a text message from Brandon. Dad, can you meet me for lunch? I want to show you something. We met at a small diner near the job site where he'd been working. Construction workers filled most of the tables, real people taking real lunch breaks from real work. Brandon looked different, tanned from outdoor labor, calluses on his hands, wearing work boots that actually had dirt on them. How's the Rodriguez house coming? I asked. Finished yesterday. Mrs. Rodriguez cried when we turned the water back on. That's the best part of the job. Yeah, I'm starting to understand that. He pulled out his phone and showed me his social media accounts. 1,200 followers, he said. I post maybe once a week. What kind of content? Real stuff. Yesterday I showed how to fix a leaky faucet. Got 8,000 views. That's good. Dad, I wanted to apologize, publicly. He opened TikTok and played a video he'd posted that morning. Hey everyone, Brandon Davis here. 6 months ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I disrespected my father and mocked working people on livestream. The video showed him at various job sites, working alongside plumbers and contractors. I've spent the last 6 months learning what real work feels like. It's hard. It's honest. It's important. My father tried to teach me these values my whole life. I was too arrogant to listen. To everyone who works with their hands, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, mechanics, I'm sorry. Your work has dignity. Your skills matter. The video had 43,000 views and counting. Comments flooded with support. How long have you been planning this? I asked. 3 months. I wanted to make sure I meant it. And do you? Dad, I love this work. I love solving problems. I love helping people. He showed me his paycheck stub. $840 for 2 weeks. It's not much, but I earned every penny. I'm proud of you, son. There's something else. He pulled out a business card. I'm enrolled in night school, Austin Community College, getting my plumbing license. Brandon, that's wonderful. Maybe someday I can be a real partner in Davis Brothers. I smiled. Maybe you can. Dad, about the trust fund. It's still there, waiting for you to earn it. Good. I want to earn it. We finished lunch in comfortable silence. Outside, the sound of construction filled the air, the sound of people building something that would last. Dad? Yeah? Thanks for not giving up on me. That's what fathers do, son. We build foundations that can support our children's growth, even when they don't deserve it, especially then. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. If you've got kids, teach them that every honest job has dignity. If you are a kid, remember that respect isn't inherited, it's earned. Let me know in the comments. What's the most important lesson your parents taught you about work?